What's up, Pumpheads?
Wow.
Man, way cool, dude.
If you can't hear me, I'm sure you can feel me. I'm Chris Jacobs for theHubGarage.com, the coolest car community on the net.
I love this place. I'm never leaving. These cars are so cool, man. How do you do this?
We have finally made it to Nirvana.
All right, Hubhead. So here we are in the real interesting part of Rad Rides by Troy, the Fab Shop. And Troy, it looks like you guys got a bunch of different projects going on.
Yeah.
First of all, what's this thing?
I tell you, it's a 49 Chevy sedan delivery, which, you know, it's wedge chop, made it into a wagon. It's got a chrome ollie chassis, all inboard pushrod suspension, all-wheel drive.
Nice.
Really a trick piece, really a turd-looking stock, you know.
Yeah.
When you've seen it, it looks like you can drive an Escort into the back of it. So we've sleeked it out. It has longer doors on it now, and reversed the bumper. And
Did you flare it out in the back at all?
no,
or is that stock?
it's just the way it looks, yeah. But the chassis is the cool part on this. You know, it's got a little push rod. I'll give you a little peek here. You know, it's all-wheel drive, inboard push rod, and you know, this is kind of the difference. It separates the real fabricating shops to, you know, like what we do here with the chassis. You know, and
Yeah.
we're known for the drivetrain stuff. So this is a fun car. We did the quadreduces all-wheel drive years ago. So
Yeah. Oh,
you know,
that's another one
some
that'll
pretty
scare
cool
the hell
stuff.
out
Yeah,
of you.
that's a fast car.
Quadreduce, yeah.
You know, all-wheel drive 32 Ford.
And that one's kind
challenge.
of like a spec build you're doing?
Well, we were doing it for a customer, and kind of, you know, ran a little short, so we're looking for a new home. So that's one of my, you know, most favorite ones in here, being the all-wheel drive thing and the wagon deal.
Yeah.
And so we'll finish it eventually. You know, we've been so busy, I haven't went out and pursued anything.
Right,
So
it's dropped down the priority scale
yeah,
a little bit.
but that's very nice. And then
you got the skeleton of the
yep,
Torino.
little 69 Torino. That we're going to do a Boss 429 with some hidden mechanical, make it EFI, kind of our standard deal for George, for Poteet, the guy that owns the
cool.
Bonneville car. Not sure what we're going to do styling yet. We build all the cars on the rack. We got the rockers done, and now we're just kind of figure out which way we're going to go. So neat car, big car, you know, another one nobody's really done anything with. So
It looks like you got most of the body work done, but you still got a little bit of cancer on the cowl
yeah,
there.
yeah. What we do, Chris, is depending on how far we're going to go into build, we'll either get a real nice car or just get one that's got good rockers and pretty good quarters, and because we know we're going to gut them like this, because that's how we get it to sit right, and we do the chassis and
fit
stuff. So
everything in
yeah,
there.
so this is every one we've built here the last 15 years starts on these racks, and you know, and we cut them to that point and then go from there.
Well, that brings me to a question there, Troy. You mentioned that you look at the rockers. Is when you're looking at a project car or a donor body, whatever you want to call it, what are some of the things that you absolutely can't compromise on?
I tell you, the last thing you want to do is, you know, spend $50,000 repairing rust, because that's something nobody's ever going to see, and that's just money. It's like you're just throwing it away.
Right.
So, you know, we really try to. We do a pretty good job now at finding good cars, but it's still tough. You know, you got to pick the carpet up and look under the carpet and things like that. And if we buy one like off eBay or something, we try to get somebody across the country that we know to really go look at it, because you know, we've all bought some turds before, and you know, you spend a lot of time fixing
Use that
them.
third-party inspection option.
Yeah, for the $80,
Smart, man.
that saves
It's
you a
an
lot of time,
investment.
doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So you definitely got to go look at it, and you got, because everybody's term of nice is way different than somebody else. So
Exactly.
and we don't want to spend a bunch of time repairing rust.
So rust over straightness. I mean, straightness you can
Straightness
fix easier
doesn't
than
matter.
rust.
If it's solid, man, you just saved yourself a lot of pain, you know. And when you're really trying to tell that to a guy that's kind of building his first real trick hot rod, you know, because you get guys in here all the time, oh, my grandpa's got this car, he's giving me, it's been in the family, man, you appreciate
right.
It's been
What
in the
it
family.
is. Yeah.
But man, it's like, dude, you're killing me, you know. For $5,000, we can go buy you a perfect body, or you're going to spend $50 fixing this one.
Yeah.
You know, and they get over that
Let's
attachment
just
quick.
pretend it's been in the family for 50
Right,
years.
exactly. They get over the attachment part pretty quick.
Rust-free makes it a lot better. All right, well, next up is a car you don't often see in a custom hot rod shop, something from the 80s?
Yeah, you know, it's a third-gen Camaro that Joe's a GM engineer. He's been waiting for a long time to do this. He bought it, put 300 miles on it, and that was it. Took it off the street, and has been wanting to do it ever since. So, you know, we struggled with what to do with it, you know, because it's like, man, you know, they were all done as pro stock cars or that typical street machine look, and it's like, what do you do? So, you know, it's this side's a little covered up with the welders, but we're going to do kind of an IMSA road race style. It's going to have the big puffed out fenders all the way around.
Yeah, I saw you got the one mocked
kinda
up
mocked up in cardboard.
on the passenger
Yep.
side, on the stock here on the driver's side.
there's a
of course,
big-
you didn't have to worry about rust on this car.
No, it was actually, it started somewhere else, and it had been painted, so we stripped it, you know. And but it's a twin turbo 406 small block, and we just said, man, if we're going to do it, we got to do wild.
Yeah.
So, you know, this thing's going to be 10 inches wider, and I mean, just to look like a full-blown road race car.
Kind of taking a page from the old SCCA cars.
Exactly. And then looking at the the guys in the shop here, look at a lot of the new BMWs, Mercedes, the race cars, where they're all got the big shelves around the wheels, and kind of taking a lot of styling from them, and we're going to put it into this Camaro. So it's going to be a really neat piece. It's exciting because it's just like, normally we'll do 50 things you don't know we did.
Right.
I mean, you see this from 100 feet, you're going to holy
You're gonna
cow.
know.
Yeah, you'll know right away. So.
And I got to tell you, broken down to the frame like this is not a bad looking design.
No, they're okay. It's just we try not to do just the so typical thing, So that's why we went pretty wild on the styling, and it'll be neat. It's going to be a fun car to just get wild with it for once.
American cars from the 80s oftentimes need a lot of help, so
Yeah.
you're giving that
It's
one
at
a
the
nice
right
one.
place.
We'll go back to the 70s with this one. This is a Camaro?
Pontiac.
Oh, it's a Pontiac.
70
okay.
Pontiac, and we're going to do our mild street machine chicane, tuck the bumpers, type feel to it, just a real nice, straightforward, good driving street machine. We've got an Art Morrison chassis sitting underneath here for it, and I'm not sure on a drivetrain yet, obviously something General Motors. But it'll have, our spoilers, tucking the bumpers, and just all our standard Rad Rides looking stuff. And
now, one thing I noticed on the Torino as well as on this car is the rockers have been replaced. They look a lot thicker. Does that help with the stiffness of the ride?
It does. We bought this car for gentleman David Sharp. He's down south from Alabama, and we bought a real nice car. But first thing we do is take the rockers out, Chris, and then we put a 10-gauge rocker back in it. Because we'll mold our floor back off of that, and it just gives us a real smooth platform, and that's just a standard thing. We've always done it that way. And you can see the car's set. We set everything at 4 inches off the rack here. This is ride height, so everything we build is 4 inches off the rack. That way, when it's done, the tires are way up inside of it, and there's nothing hanging down underneath, so you can drive them low.
I've noticed with all three of these cars, actually, you've got the supports welded in. Tell us why you do that.
What we're doing there is we're squaring the body up to the rack. After we cut them apart, they get a little wiggly. So first thing we do is we'll square it off the rack and then lock it down, then put the rockers in it and get it pretty stiff again. Then we'll switch all the supports to the rockers now that they're strong, and then we'll put the chassis in it. And it'll
Once
stay.
the chassis in, that'll take the place of the frames that you got in there.
Yep. Because when we cut the rockers up, they really get wiggly.
Yeah.
So now we'll put the little 4-inch stanchions back under the rockers, reattach it to the rack, bring the chassis into play, and then build the car with the floor in it. A lot of times the exhaust in it, engine, everything before it ever comes off here. When it comes off, it's pretty much ready to roll.
So frame goes in first, and then the floors get put in.
Yes. Yep. We get it in there and make sure everything's placed right, and then we build the exhaust right away. So it's up tucked in. Because how many cars you see that are bitching, and the last thing you do is the exhaust is hanging under the car.
Yeah.
Learned that a long time ago. That's a big no-no.
You gotta make room for the exhaust.
And that's really a lot of this stuff is the things that why is one cost this much and why is one cost this much. It's all this unforeseen stuff that when it's done you never see it.
Well, it's that marriage of form and function that you're
absolutely.
going for.
And we'll show you some stuff here that Jared's doing behind me for the Nancy and Rogers 56 Chrysler we're doing. That just really separates what we do from the rest of the people. And it's stuff that, unless I sat you in there when it's done, you'd just take it for granted.
Right.
But there's a lot of time in making it work correctly.